Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another edition of Foodie Fridays. Now this Foodie Fridays is probably the most simplest Foodie Fridays that you're going to get. This recipe is hands down the easiest recipe in the world. So this is baked ravioli and I use it with frozen ravioli straight from the freezer section, which makes it so easy. And I highly recommend these Great Value 5 cheese raviolis. They are really yummy and super cheap. I think that big bag's like $2 and some change, so you cannot beat it. So you need a bag of frozen ravioli, tortellini, whatever you want. If you want to change it up and do tortellini instead, that's totally fine. It can be the kind in the cold section, not the freezer section, so just whatever you prefer and use whatever you like. Also need a jar of some type of red pasta sauce. I'm just using some ragu because that is in my stockpile from couponing. You need some mozzarella cheese, and I like to add a little bit of Italian seasoning. So this really isn't even in the recipe. It's just these three ingredients right here. So super simplistic, super easy, so fast to make. It is like one of my favorite go-to recipes when I don't feel like cooking for a long time and I don't have that many, of the ingredients on hand. This is just really handy to have on a backup as an easy recipe. It does feed myself, my hubby, and my mother-in-law, and we usually have a little bit left over for the next day. So if you want a bigger batch of this, definitely double the recipe if you have a bigger family or you want to do this for a crowd. All right, so I'm going to go step by step on what we're going to do for this recipe. All right, y'all, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to get your pot full of water and you want it to come to a rolling boil for your ravioli. So we need to cook our ravioli first before we put them in our 9x13 dish with the rest of our ingredients. So you're going to gently pour into the boiling water your frozen raviolis, and I'm just following the directions straight off the package. So once you do that, as you see, it's going to stop the boiling process because you're putting that frozen product in the pot. So you're going to stir it around, and the way that you know that these are done, little trick, it's not really a trick, but just the first time that you cook these, you find out, they float to the top. So when they float to the top, they are done. You don't want to overcook these. The package says 4 minutes. And if you overcook them, all the nice cheese and whatever you have in the middle that you bought is going to burst out and it's going to get in the water and it's not going to be in your belly, and that's where we want it. So you definitely want to get them as soon as they get to the top. So we're going to let this cook. We're going to let them float to the top, and then we're going to drain them and then place them in our 9x13 pan with the rest of our ingredients. All right, y'all, so you see how they have floated to the top. Now I'm not going to take them out just yet. So as soon as they float to the top, don't take them out. Give them a minute for that water maybe to come to a boil again. Give it a good stir, and then you can take them out because you want to make sure that filling is not still frozen and that it is actually cooked through. Remember, you're going to put this in the oven as well, so it will get a little bit more cooking time. So again, you don't want to overcook these raviolis. They just take a few minutes and they are good to go. So I'm going to give them just another minute or two because they just floated to the top, and then we're going to drain them and put them back in our 9x13 pan over there. All right, y'all, so I have put them in the colander. They are straining right now. All the water is getting out of there. And as you can see, they are smoking hot. So big mistake that I did the first time that I made this is I didn't grab them, obviously, when they were smoking, but I didn't give them a long time to cool down. And I tried to put them in my 9x13 pan, and I had like hot potato fingers the whole time when I was doing it. So give them about 10 minutes, I suggest, to cool off before you try to place them in your 9x13 pan so you don't burn your fingers off like I did the very first time that I made this recipe. So I'm going to let these bad boys cool down, and then we'll put them in our 9x13 pan. All right, y'all, so I am back, and I'm going to start assembling this baked ravioli. So the first thing I like to do is to take my pasta sauce, and I like to put a little layer of that on the bottom of our 9x13 pan. And if y'all hear Waylon in the background, he's getting up from his little evening nap, so he might be a little fussy. And I'm just going to take it, I'm going to spread it all over the bottom. I told you. Yeah, he's fussy. And there is my first layer of my pasta sauce. So after the first layer of the marinara sauce, then you're going to take your raviolis, make sure they are cooled down, and you're going to start placing them in single rows on your 9x13 pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And after you put your raviolis in your single file lines, then I like to sprinkle a little bit of that Italian seasoning on top. And I also like to put another layer of the pasta sauce, and then I like to put my cheese on. So I'm going to assemble this like that, and then we are going to put this bad boy in the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and start assembling this all the way how I like it. Alright y'all, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this uncovered in the oven. I just preheat mine to about 350 degrees, and I usually put it in there for about 20 minutes so it can heat up the ravioli again, the pasta sauce, and make all this cheese nice and bubbly and melted deliciousness. So we're going to pop this in the oven, take it out, and see what our finished product looks like. Alright y'all, so it has been 20 minutes in the oven for 350 degrees, and this is what your final product looks like when it comes out of the oven. You want that cheese to be melted but not burnt or not hard. It's just perfect consistency. It's heated through, so it's ready to plate. I like to eat our ravioli with a side salad and some garlic bread, so I'm going to plate it up and we're going to see what all that looks like. Alright, also this is the final product. This is the baked ravioli, and we like to serve it with garlic bread and with a side salad, so you can do whatever you like as far as changing things up with this recipe, but it's super easy and super yummy. So give this video a thumbs up if you are still loving and enjoying the Foodie Fridays, and hit that subscribe button if you're not with me already, because I do a Foodie Fridays every single week here on the channel. And until next time with another Foodie Fridays, thank y'all so much for watching. I love you guys, and see you next time. Bye.